WAAF and WAAF HD1 Westboro, Boston, WKAF and WKAF HD1 Brockton, Boston.
All over the country, and now it's kind of back to the real world and trying to address a lot of things that have needed attention over the last few weeks. But this is more important, and I know we got to get to LB on history.
No worries, buddy. It's all you, brother. It's all you.
Listen,
I'm with you on this, man.
You're a gun owner, and you're a guy who hunts, and I understand. Yesterday, you called the show randomly, and I get it. You're upset with our governor. You may want to share with everybody why.
Yeah. So the Attorney General, who I'm not sure how many hours she's logged, at a shooting range, or how much she really does understand about gun ownership and gun safety and what it means to be a responsible gun owner. But, she took it upon herself to take a law that, by the way, it had a sunset provision. It ended in 2004. It was a federal ban on assault-style weapons, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This ban went into effect in 1994. It was signed by Bill Clinton, and it addressed some issues at the time that involved some mass shootings, similar to what we have today, right?
Yes.
And that ban is no longer in place because that ban didn't address the problem. And like so many things our politicians do, it's easier to just pass some sort of legislation and move on and say, hey, this is what we did. But the truth is statistics are typically never on their side, as is the case with what our Attorney General in the great state of Massachusetts has done, where she is banning basically any gun that is semi-automatic. Not basically, any gun. So for any gun owner out there that has any knowledge, that means that a .22, which is basically a glorified BB gun,
right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A 1022 is now illegal. You are a felon in the state of Massachusetts if you own a 1022.
And by the way, it's a 10-year felony. It's
insane.
Now, the attorney, this is very disappointing. The Attorney General's office acknowledged yesterday that they had not researched the crime statistics here in Massachusetts. The FBI says that of the nearly 800 murders between 2010 and 2014 here in Massachusetts, only 2 were committed with rifles.
And 35 with hands and feet.
Only 2. So let's ban hands and feet. Maura Healey should be banning the use of hands and feet. It's a decree. It's not. It didn't even go through the legislature, Matt. It's right. Like she's like the Meister Burger banning toys. It's ludicrous.
It really is, and here's the part that's really upsetting to me, right?
Yes.
I work with gun companies all the time. We celebrate the use of firearms through our celebrity shootout. I know you know what that's like. I know you've been there. I know that you've never seen anybody do anything irresponsible. There's been nothing but a genuine respect, for that event and the people that attend it.
Yes.
We've raised millions of dollars. There's this idea being circulated by those that want to control, right? Not educate, not debate, not have a healthy conversation, but control certain topics. And this is one of them. And what we need are people that are willing to just sit down and have a real conversation, because the truth is this: I don't want to see people get hurt ever in any way. And I definitely do not like what I'm seeing in this country. And really, honestly, let's face it, the world is a mess. The world is crazy. But in this country, we've been able to curb a lot of the craziness. Well, we haven't been able to do that lately. And there have been people that have lost their lives, a lot of people. I'm sensitive to that. But I'm also a gun owner who understands that my guns don't just get up and do the action. We do them. And guess why we do them? It's because we feel disenfranchised. We feel let down. We feel like we're on an island because our government isn't doing what it's intended to do. I listened to Trump's speech last night as long as I could stay awake, right?
Yeah.
And And I think that law and order mentality and the idea that we need to take back, this Americanism that we've kind of forgotten about is really true. But it's not going to happen when one individual, a woman who she should know better. I mean, she studies the law. She understands how to fight for things. She's obviously a public servant, but she's not serving the public when she just makes a decision all on her own. And I'll tell you what else. I love Charlie Baker. I like everything he represents, but we need him, and we need the rest of the good people that are serving the state of Massachusetts to say what's real, that kind of action cannot be tolerated, and the hundreds of thousands of gun owners like myself in Massachusetts are not felons. We're responsible citizens who are going to stand up and hopefully deter the things that are happening elsewhere in our country and make sure that they don't continue to happen. And we have to unite. We really do. I hate saying these kind of things because it means that I'm jumping into the political world, but I'm in with both feet on this issue. And I'm dead serious when I tell all of these people that understand what I'm talking about, you can't sit on your hands anymore. You have to get up. You got to go to the State House at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. If I could, I'd be there. But you got to get there because Goal and Jim Wallace and all the people that fight for the freedoms that we have in our Second Amendment and many more, they're rallying, and you have to show up.
Well, Matt, I'm glad you called this morning. It's an important issue. Our listeners we have listeners who feel both ways about it, but I stand right behind you. This is not her purview. It's not her job to decree that there's no guns and to tell people who own them legally that you are now a felon. And it's just, I agree with you wholeheartedly. May I ask you one other question this morning, and then I got to get to LB on history?
Yes, sir.
With your vast knowledge of the inner workings of One Patriot Way, what is without your beloved BFF Tom Brady, what is the record? What is your prediction now on the record after the first 4 games of the season?
Oh, man, I wish I knew who the first 4 opponents were.
Well, you got Arizona, Miami, Buffalo, and
who's the other? They're 3 divisional games.
No?
Darn it, I cannot remember who the other one is.
Texas.
All right, so
it's Houston. It's Houston.
Okay, so actually the opponent's not going to matter. Here's what's going to matter, right? What's going to matter is how much those guys respond to whoever it is that's jumping in and filling those shoes, right? I mean, look, I go back to, Matt Castle and how he played and what we were able to do with a guy that was unproven, that, everybody thought was going to falter and that didn't have maybe the best preseasons in the past, but went out there and we won a lot of games, and we should have been in the playoffs with a guy named Matt Castle. So I'm not worried about it. I don't know that it's really going to truly have a major effect on their season in terms of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm just upset that process, again, it's just another broken system. I mean, I think people are tired of getting beaten up by the system. It's just amazing that a guy like Roger and all of his wisdom, can continue to make such buffoonery out of what is the National Football League.
Who are you more frustrated with, Attorney General Maura Healey or Football General Roger Goodell?
Man, that's a tough one, my friend. I guess I would say with Healey at the moment, but Goodell, he's always going to be at the top of the list.
All right, well, enjoy yourself out there, and let's get together when you get back.
I will. I appreciate the time. I truly do. It's an important topic. You guys are the best, and have a great weekend.
You got
All
it,
right,
man.
Can you give us a mustache on the way out? Everybody's texting. Oh, no. Shoot, he hung up. Everybody wanted a mustache.
Oh, man.
Mustache.
All right, it's 8:01 here at WAAF and WAAF HD1 Westboro, Boston, WKAF and WKAF HD1 Procton, Boston.